gardening and prepping. My name is Teresa. I'd like to welcome you out to the shed of many names on this summer solstice evening. Where what better way to celebrate today, the first day of summer, than with starting a big beautiful batch of pineapple wine. Yes, we will be making pineapple wine. If you watched my video from yesterday, you saw me make the pineapple jam. This is the bucket that I put the peels and cores, chopped up of course, into this bucket while I was making the jam. Now I have 4 pineapples worth of peels and their cores. Now I have 2 more pineapples here. They're really ripe, so I'm hoping they're still good. So let's have some fun making some wine my way. Not always do I do things like other people. I do the way that I was taught by my daddy and by my grandmother. And they both made mighty fine wine. So let's have some fun, y'all. Okay, we're going to start out first. Make sure everything is clean. Sanitize your board, your knives, your spoon, of course your bucket, and of course gnats are everywhere, unfortunately. I have been using, so far I have about 3 gallons of Berkey water and almost 3 gallons of filtered water in my bucket. Now, you want to use filtered or well water or distilled water, but you do not want to use your tap water, especially if you're in the city, because the chlorine and the fluoride will mess your wine up. So with that being said, let's get to cutting some of these pineapples. Now hopefully they're not too overripe, and it's not. That end is a little bit. We're just going to cut that piece, those bad pieces off, and discard them into the bag for the compost pile. Alright, and the rest I'm going to keep, because if it's overripe, any bad spots can cause your wine to be bitter. And I'm going to warn y'all ahead of time, I like my wine sweet. I don't want nothing that's going to dry my mouth out, nor make me pucker. Oh, this pineapple smells good. It smells so good. And yes, I use peelings and all. That's a good tasting pineapple there. tough little joker there. Now that we got the first pineapple chopped up, time to put it in the bucket. So, we'll raise this up. Now it's easier to take, or so I say. Alright, well, we're just going to leave that one alone. Put our lid over here. Try to keep it level. Yep, I got room for one more. And I will bring you back as soon as I get done chopping this one up. Okay, I have the second pineapple cut up, and it's fixing to go into the bucket as well. And one thing I forgot to mention, make sure your pineapples are washed and rinsed very well. Those little things can be dirty. Okay, that's the last of the pineapples for now. I have had fun with pineapples, I'm going to tell you that much. From vinegar to jam, now to wine. Okay. Like I said, you want a good amount of pineapple in your bucket, because that way the more pineapple you have in it, well, of course you want to make sure you got plenty enough water or you won't be making much wine. But this is enough pineapple to make sure that this has some amazing pineapple flavor. Now right now, I'm going to tell you, I don't make my wine like most of these people do now. I like my wine sweet, and I only use cane sugar, pure cane sugar. So, like I said, I like my wine sweet, and that was just a hair over 4 pounds of sugar. Yes, I know. But you want to make sure that yeast has plenty of stuff to eat on. Because the more the yeast can eat, the more alcohol it can make. So, I make kind of strong wine. I don't like that little weak stuff. When you have some of my wine, you're going to feel it. Let's start real good. And I'm going to fill my bucket up to almost 3/4 of the way. And I'm not worried about doing my turkey this way because I need to wash it anyway. bucket up about 3/4 of the way, because that way it has plenty of room to percolate and dance around. Oh yeah, that's good and sweet. And thankfully my hands were sanitized before I started. Okay, now comes the fun part. My grandma, my grandmother, my grandfather, my father used regular yeast. Regular bread yeast. They didn't worry about champagne yeast, no beer yeast. Ugh. They used regular yeast, and you know what? It worked wonders. And every one that I've made, I've used regular yeast. And I'm going to put about 2 tablespoons of yeast in there to get that baby going. Get it cooking and fermenting. You want to make sure that you stir it in there real good. Now, you want to keep your bucket out of the sunlight, but in a warm area. It's going to be out of the sunlight here, but it's going to be nice and toasty. And I have it about to right here, about 3/4 of the way, because you want to make sure there's plenty of room for it to bubble and everything. And this is where you have to be careful. You want to make sure that lid is on good and tight. You want to make sure your bubbler's in real good. That's what my daddy called it, my grandmother called it, so that's what I call it. You want to make sure that the water is up to the level that it's supposed to. Make sure that there are no gaps that gnats can get in at all. And you want to make sure that that's in there really good. Now, in a little while, you might see it start bubbling. You know what? That's perfectly fine. Because you know what? Then you're making wine. It's fermenting. It's a wonderful, wonderful, beautiful process. Now, this might need to ferment for 5 days. Can go for 7 days. I've seen them go up to 2 weeks. It depends on when the yeast says that it's done, that it has processed all the sugars and made wonderful alcohol. Now, like I said, once this Once this stops bubbling, then I will bring y'all back and we'll bottle it up. We'll strain it, bottle it back up, and then we're going to let it sit for a month or two. Depends on when it's ready. Because this next straining, once it's ready from the bucket, is when it's going to really build its flavor. And it's going to clear up and it's going to be just beautiful. And then I'm waiting to drink it. Alright. Simple, easy. Anybody can do this. You just have to believe in yourself for a minute. Sorry about that. Had to sneeze. Simple, easy. Anybody can make wine. Now, I know a lot of people aren't going to like the bucket method. Oh well, too bad. I don't have a big glass jar. And it's easier to start it in a food grade bucket. Make sure it's food grade. And this one's a heavy duty food grade bucket. Simple, easy, and I'm looking forward to bringing y'all back in a week or so when this baby has done its job. Then we'll strain it, have fun, do a little taste test. It won't be ready, but we'll do a taste test anyway in case we have to add more sugar to it. Because like I said, I like my wine sweet, not over sweet, but yeah, I want to know that there's, some sweetness in there. Now, like I said, just keep an eye on your bubbler. Do not let it run out of water at all. And if everything gets a little too active, stir it and just keep an eye on it. Just make sure you keep this completely clean. And you shouldn't have any problems whatsoever. Well, I look forward to seeing you when we do the return sometime either this weekend or next week. This to me is a perfect way to celebrate the first day of summer, because you know what? It's going to be a beautiful summertime drink later on. I look forward to seeing y'all in my next video. Everyone keep stocking those pantries. Keep your head on a swivel. Stay safe. Stay sound. Do not panic. Do not get paranoid. Be careful who you listen to. And be careful who you let in your house as well. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. And may you each be blessed. Everyone, take care.